Hey everybody.
I'm Zach. This is Michael. We're the two dudes who do reviews, and we just saw The Lion King 2019, and
I gotta say, what the hell did we just sit through?
my only words were going to be, damn it, Disney. I cannot tell you how many times I've actually sat down in that theater tonight and said to myself, damn it, Disney, because that was not The Lion King.
No, that was not. I mean, I'm sorry. I haven't gotten this upset at a film since Exodus, Gods, and Kings from a few years ago.
Honestly, I never thought I would be pissed at a remake, but I honestly was. I actually kept a score chart in my head of pros, cons, and a death count. And our con chart was literally at a total of, by the end of the movie, 64 points compared to the 15 points of the con. And that's with what, a 10 to 11 body kill count?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the movie made little to no sense.
Yeah.
The opening credits, they struck a good note. They started off with that perfect nah, but then they changed the opening song.
Yeah. They got a god awful I don't know what that person was. A terrible singer to sing Circle of Life.
A horrible rendition of it. And then the jokes they tried to pass off as good, clever writing were just atrocious. Because they tried to actually make it feel like the original, but failed in every aspect.
Yeah.
The heart-wrenching connection that you're supposed to feel when Mufasa dies.
You feel nothing.
It was literally nothing.
I felt nothing.
The connection you feel between each of the characters, to the connection that Mufasa and Simba are supposed to have, the playfulness that you see, the true kingly and professionality, as well as the sweet fatherly feeling you're supposed to have from Mufasa, didn't feel like it was there. And they had the original actor come back and voice him again.
Yeah, even though James Earl Jones sounds like he's on his deathbed doing these freaking lines.
Like, for crying out loud, Disney, this should have been your forte. This was your property in the first place.
Because the animated one is one of my all-time favorite movies. Not just animated movies, movies in general. And to see, of all people, Jon frickin' Favreau. I mean, this is a guy who... I liked the live-action Jungle Book for what it was. I liked it for what it was.
I haven't even seen the live-action Jungle Book. I couldn't.
I mean, it's fine, even though Christopher Walken as King Louis is pretty dang ridiculous. I will say, that had more effort than whatever the hell we just sat through. I mean, good Lord. Good... For crying out loud. I was so pissed off at this movie. Because, I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, me and Abby watched this quite a bit. I still get emotional.
Right, that's the thing.
When Mufasa dies and when Simba triumphantly comes back and faces Scar. By the way, Donald Glover as Simba, horrible. He's horrible.
I'm not going to sit here and rip these actors and actresses because a lot of it was probably direction.
I will say, though, the guy who played Timon was all right, but Seth Rogen as Pumbaa.
That one would have been better if they would have given him better direction. I feel a lot of the problems with actors and actresses in this movie was primarily with direction, because it's supposed to be a live-action remake. You're supposed to feel like you're watching real animals do these things, but instead...
Hey, Garrett, what's up, man?
It was quite honestly it was like watching a highly detailed video game cutscene through, just because everything you're supposed to feel, everything you're supposed to see was pretty piss poor. Like, every time you're supposed to see a character cry, it was maybe a slight frown. If you could even see the frown in their face. And it was pretty sad because I could call back to past game cutscenes, like all the way back to when there was still only about 16 bits.
Yeah.
And most of those games, when somebody cried, you felt the emotion. You're sitting there tearing up with them like, oh, sweet Jesus, don't do this to me. Here I am in a theater with a literal emotional roller coaster trying to happen, and I'm just that one kid waiting for it to go riding into overdrive, and I'm just tuck 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 tuck.
You're making the whole car shake.
Like, I'm sorry, but what in the hell am I when you finally get the emotional crash that is the gut-wrenching death of someone's father, the king that everybody looked up to and loved, and you can't shed a tear because the movie doesn't allow it to be an emotional, gut-wrenching, horrifying scene, it's like, what the hell, Disney? God! Whew.
Wow, you are so much happier than I am right now.
I never said I was happy.
Oh no, on the inside I am burning. Because what? Because, oh wow. The songs, they still have some of the songs, even though Be Prepared, when Be Prepared came on, I was so insulted. Because...
the dude who played Scar cannot sing to save his goddamn life.
No. Oh, and also, a key point. Wait, spoilers in case you care, because you're not going to see it, because I'm telling you guys right now, you do not want to see this piece of crap. I'm saving you all money.
It's not so much that the movie is crap, it's the fact that it felt like Disney just wanted to pump out something that it knew would make it some money.
Yeah.
Because it's playing on nostalgia with this one.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I've been hit by my own fair share of nostalgia, like my review that I posted on our page about the 2017 Power Rangers film. I first saw that and put on the nostalgia goggles because in my mind I'm thinking Power Rangers, epicness, my childhood being brought to the screen with a bigger and better budget. Actors and actresses that are trying to make their way and are probably pretty damn good if they made it, especially with Bryan Cranston playing their mentor. But if you read my review, you know when I go back and rewatch it without the nostalgia goggles, God was I disappointed. And that's how I felt in this movie. I could sit there and watch the animated Lion King and I could feel every minute, every emotion. I could get hyped, I could get sad. I can make all kinds of emotions come out of my body when it comes to that. But yet, when I go to see a live action one that didn't feel nearly as live as the animated one did to me, there is a problem.
It's not even live action. They just all looked like lifeless puppets. It's all lifeless to me.
It didn't seem appealing. And even at the times when they had something going, like, if anybody remembers the animated scene between Rafiki and Simba, when Rafiki hits Simba over the head with his stick and is giving him some really deep, thoughtful insight into how to be not only just a better person, but a better king to better stand up for what he is supposed to do, the movie botched it. Simply because when they had something going, they had it going really well. They had it started off really well with, I know who I am. Do you know who you are? They started it so well, but they botched it so bad because the final part was, oh, I'm my father's son. Like, no, the message of that movie is not to be just known by who your parents are. Mm-hmm. The message of the movie was that no matter what you do, you can learn from your past and get over that pain, or you can let that pain cripple you. And that was what helped Simba become better in the animated movie. But here, we don't get that.
No, we don't get that at all.
We get a half-assed message of you're your father's son, so that means you have to go fight another freaking lion. Like, what in the heck? A child's television series did that way better than this movie did. God knows how many kids shows did the same message, but better. Steven Universe did that better in its entire series. And I haven't finished it yet. I've gotten through maybe season 1.
Is it bad that I haven't seen a single episode of Steven Universe yet?
No, it's not bad. Because it took me a while to get into it. But a show that I know most people have seen that I can compare this to is Gravity Falls.
Oh, I love Gravity Falls.
That show had a better message of rising up and being better than what you were, being better than what some people see you as, rising up from your past. That show did better at projecting that message in its entirety than this movie did in what, the last 2 hours?
I will say, one of the worst 2 hours I've ever wasted in a movie theater. And I sat through 3 hours of Transformers movies.
Oh, God.
And I will say, I would rather sit through the live-action Aladdin before I would ever sit back down again to watch this. I mean, this movie, I wanted to get up and walk out so often.
I think people actually did walk out. I think you were right. There were a couple of people who I think actually walked out of the movie.
Yeah, those people didn't even come back.
No, there was a couple of people who we legitimately watched walk out of the theater and never make a return. Like, it was, oh, lordy.
Yeah.
The only movie, animated-wise, that I think I'd really want to compare this to in terms of what did what message better is the old Transformers animated movie where Optimus Prime died. Because...
Yeah, that was in 1986.
Yeah. And the reason I could say that movie and comparing it to this one is because they both had similar messages. They both had similar setups. A character who you knew and loved and built a connection with is killed in a traumatic way that to some of the characters destroyed them. That to other characters it made them want to work harder. And when you have your character who doesn't believe in themselves and instead goes off to be the lazy person, the slacker who's just taking it in and trying to not worry about anything, only to rise up and be the hero that the people need, Transformers did it better.
You're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that here.
This movie, I'm sorry, but if you want to see it and you enjoy, and you do go see it and you enjoy it, power to you.
Mm-hmm.
But
we will pray for you.
But it's a matter of just treating your audience with respect.
And I feel that
Disney did not do that.
No, not specifically Jon Favreau, but Disney itself, because I do think they kind of control him like a little puppet.
They did. You see, at the end of the day, this movie is just run-of-the-mill bad. It's a little obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Seth Rogen as Pumbaa.
And to the people who actually appreciate Disney and for what they do and what their messages typically were in their movies, this movie feels insulting to us as an audience, because
especially if you grew up with the original Lion King. I know it's a lot of people's favorite animated movies, and if you think that this will be a good interpretation, you're wrong.
Your money is better spent elsewhere.
Your money is better spent watching the live-action remake of Aladdin or The Jungle Book, or
your money's better spent getting it.
Hell, even Beauty and the Beast.
That one's debatable.
Well, it's debatable, but I still think I would recommend that over this.
Point is, this movie at the end of the day insults your intelligence, and if Disney wants to do that, then they're going to lose money because they're playing on nostalgia, and I'd rather go see a movie that actually treats me like an intelligent being and actually gives me an emotional roller coaster that is promised.
Yeah, you hardly ever get that anymore.
And
because Disney has us all by the guts.
Yeah, but I get it.
They're shaking money out of our pockets.
I had an emotional roller coaster watching Endgame. I cried in Endgame. I cried in a superhero movie. And if this movie with literal emotional roller coaster aspects didn't make me cry, but a superhero movie made me cry, Disney, get your act together. Because you even own the damn superhero franchise.
Hey, it's okay. I know that the death of Iron Man in Endgame.
Spoilers!
Dude, it's already been out for... It's been out for months. People have already seen it.
You don't know that. Point is...
Also, quick shout out. Congratulations to Avengers Endgame for becoming the #1 highest grossing movie of all time. Finally taking Avatar down.
Somebody finally did it, so...
Yeah, it only took like 11 years, but someone
Has it
finally
11
got it.
years? God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah.
It took over a decade.
Point is, if other movies can give you a better emotional roller coaster, a better time, and still entertain you and treat you like an intelligent person, your money's better spent there. Yeah. If you want to just see something that might be entertaining for about 10, 20 minutes, might give you a good song here and there, if you can find a better rendition online, then go for it. And like I said, if you enjoy this movie, more power to you. There might be something in there that you saw that we didn't. But in our personal opinion, if we had to degrade this movie on a see it or see it in hell, we put it see it in hell.
Yeah, see it in hell. This is the kind of movie that I think even maybe I don't think it's a film that the devil would show to his kids, but
no, he'd probably go for something worse.
He'd probably just use it as a form of torture.
Let me tell you, that was the longest 2 hours I've spent in the theater.
Yeah. Like, seriously, I didn't sit still once.
None of us did. Me and him were literally just sitting here cracking back and forth. Kill me now! Please! Oh, God! Slap my wrist! Do something!
I kept telling you to just...
And I'm
it's like, take the straw and...
And I'm just sitting there like, come on, give it a chance. Give it a chance. Just one chance is all we need.
I know, but...
And then my list got bigger and bigger. And it's like, no! Enough with the cons. Give me some pros. The only pros was towards the end. They recreated some of the final scenes right. Gave us some of the best dialogue at that time. But why? It was ripped from the original script, and you could tell, and it's like, you jackasses. You now treat us like intelligent beings. Only now, at the end of the damn film. Jeez.
I love your passion.
I mean, if they are gonna...
I swear, if this was an anime film that was this bad, you would probably lose your voice.
I'm gonna say this.
You would lose your voice.
I'm gonna say this, because this is gonna be a massive reference to anybody who knows of Disney's rivalry with other studios because of the original Lion King film. If I wanted to see an anime movie on lions, I would go watch Kimba the White Lion, because they at least did it better. Half the dialogue that was original to this movie, from remembering the old Lion King, it sounded like it was going to be an anime. When Mufasa was fighting hyenas and other creatures and people saw his strength, they're just sitting there talking about his power, I swear to God, they made it sound like he was just going to come on screen, roar a bunch of times for 15 minutes straight, his hair was going to fly up and turn golden and turn into a Super Saiyan lion, and I'm just sitting there like, why? Why do they have to make it sound like a lion anime? If I wanted that, I'd see Kimba.
Oh, I gotta say, the dialogue, a lot of the dialogue in this movie is also really bad. It feels like I'm watching really, I don't know, really flamboyant anime dialogue. Like, you are the chosen one. You must defend where you come from. What would your mother think?
Like, oh my God, the dialogue.
Yeah, the dialogue in this is really up there with some of the worst movie dialogue I've heard in a long time.
It was
not just from how they're read, but also how they're delivered. Because Donald Glover as Simba is awful. Beyonce, if you're a Beyonce fan, more power to you. I think she's horrible as Nala. I did like Billy Eichner as Timon. He did get a laugh or two out of me.
Some of the jokes got a pretty good couple of laughs out of me. There were some jokes that I was not expecting to get a good laugh at. There were some scenes that I got some good laughs out of, whether intentional or not. Mm-hmm. There are times in this movie where you will get a good laugh, but that good laugh is only going to be 2 seconds long before something comes along and ruins it.
Yeah.
Like, there are just times where this movie does not know what it wants to do. Like, if you were to sit here and talk to us about the movie, and even just listening to our reviews as we stream them, you're gonna know we're gonna jump around a bit, because we don't really have the ability as of this minute to be able to, like, script out an entire review and edit it to work with each individual scene or certain sections of a film. So
I don't really think that. Oh, hey Shelby. I don't think that we have that kind of time to do scripted reviews. I think it's just better if we wing it most of the time.
Well, and most of the time it gives us a chance to really be like, all right, this is what we saw, because I honestly thought while we were in the theater waiting for the movie to start, laughing at the trailers and seeing what looks good and just going over a list of stuff that we would want to review.
I will say we did see the trailer for the next Angry Birds movie, and I'm like, wow.
I am not prepared
Hollywood
for that
is
one.
out of original stuff.
I'm not prepared for that one, but I actually had an idea of sitting there of whether or not people would want us to review good movies or bad movies.
I think they want us to review both.
Possibly.
Because I think
that might just be a poll we put up later. Watch our page. We might put that poll up there, because
we might actually, yeah.
Because if we do, there'll be 3 categories: good, bad, or both. And depending on that, we'll probably throw in a few good ones if we feel like we need to switch it up a bit.
Like, so good it's good, so bad you want to gouge your eyes out, or so bad that it's good. Sort of like The Room, in a way.
I'm talking more like, it's a good movie, it's highly praised, like what we did for Far From Home.
Yeah.
A bad movie like Freddy Got Fingered, or...
Wait, what?
That's a movie. Watch it. It's horrid. Or if you don't want to watch the movie, you want to watch something about it,
That sounds unsanitary.
Nostalgia Critic reviewed it.
Wait, is that the one with Tom Green?
Yes. Yes, it is. Would you like some sausages? That movie.
Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Yeah. That movie.
Daddy, would you like some sausages?
That movie honestly made me feel more intelligent than this one did. And the only reason why?
Why?
Because I was smarter than the fucking actor.
Dude!
I'm sorry, but if...
What did I tell you about the language thing?
That don't matter. At this point...
I'm gonna have to monitor you now.
You can try. But you'll never catch me alive! Bad idea. This is my car.
Yeah, that was a really bad idea.
Alright, car, you can stop beeping.
Now you got the alarm going.
Nah, we're good. That's a really bad idea, though, since it's my car and we're in a well-lit parking
exactly.
lot. But
Yeah.
anyway, point is...
Basically, overall, guys, if you are slightly curious and you want to see it because it just reminds you of your childhood, more power to you. You obviously have better willpower than we do.
You either want to go in there knowing you're going to lose a few brain cells and recalculating your brain ability with that,
I'm still trying to get some brain cells back.
Or you're just going to really, really hopefully find a way to just not think about it after you feel horribly taken advantage of. Because this movie, as stated before, makes you feel like you're not really their target audience. Their soundtrack, if you can find the proper rendition of some of the songs they did,
Hey, Josh.
then you're going to find out that the soundtrack itself really isn't bad. It's actually a pretty good soundtrack. I would personally purchase it myself or even look it up on Spotify.
Although I think I would skip on the Donald Glover Beyonce duet.
That's if they leave it as that. If they do a proper rendition where it's not the actors and actresses singing, but instead the proper vocals that were initially meant to sing it, like on most movie soundtracks, then you're going to be in for a real musical treat. It's going to be great. But when they shoehorn the actors and actresses into these situations, whether they know that they can or can't sing, it's honestly an atrocious ordeal.
It is. John Oliver as Zazu cannot sing to save his life.
The kid who played young Simba, he surprisingly sang pretty well.
Yeah,
I will give him that.
So did the young girl who played young Nala, too.
They both sang pretty well when it came to the song of I'm Ready to Be King. The song that he...
Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Just Can't Wait to Be King. Don't know how I messed up that name, but point is, they both sang well. Zazu, horrible. The dude who played Scar, horrible.
Yeah.
Donald Glover and Beyonce singing Can You Feel the Love Tonight, along with Timon and Pumbaa
And funny thing
making
is,
their rendition.
they sing Can You Feel the Love Tonight while they're still in the daylight. So,
Yeah.
How the hell can you call it Can You Feel the Love Tonight when it's not even nighttime?
The same way you can easily say bacon and eggs at the middle of the day.
Dude, bacon and eggs any time of the day is like heaven to me.
Yeah? And I can easily say, can you feel the love tonight at 9 a.m. when the sun's beating on my face like, roasted. So, I mean, that argument is invalid. Boom.
That sounds like something your fiance would say.
Yeah, maybe. I'm probably more one than less to say something about the sun because I'm the one who's probably more prone to sunburn than she is.
Oh, yeah.
Because jet ski incidents and burns all over. I'm only now starting to peel on that.
Yeah, well, Abby is better in the sun than I am.
Yeah. Although this movie, no.
I would not take her because I cherish the time I watched this film with her, and I don't want her to experience the disrespect that Disney has shown us tonight.
And for me personally, I know I would probably take Ariel to this movie just because she loves The Lion King and she really wants to see it.
And also, I think people would like to know if it's okay to take their kids to this.
If people want to take their kids to it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's a few jokes that's primarily for adults. There's nothing wrong with the film in terms of it being a kids movie. In fact, as a kids film, it's pretty harmless. I mean, there's only maybe one scene with any form of blood or gore, and that's just simply when Scar is eating on a carcass.
So basically, if any of you out there have kids and you want to take them to this film, just don't show them the animated one first. Then maybe when it's all done, take them home, sit them down, and have them watch the animated version.
I mean, honestly, if you showed them this movie and then the original, and they said the original one was better to them, then you know your kid is intelligent.
Yeah.
But if they like the original because that's the first one they saw, that's fine. You just got to give them time to be like, all right, take off the nostalgia goggles after a few years, after they've had some time to, mature as an individual, and let them pick again.
Now I would like to know from you is...
What the heck are these people doing?
Oh, they're trying to back out.
Oh.
What I want to know from you is this. Do you think that so far this is the worst live-action Disney film you've seen?
So far, I'd honestly have to say, yeah.
Yeah.
But the only reason is I haven't seen too many of the remakes, primarily because I have seen the online reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. I have seen other people review them. And it's the fact that I honestly don't watch too many Disney live-action remakes just because I haven't...
good for you.
I just don't feel motivated to do it. I want to watch a movie that's really going to make me question something. Like, the only reason I went and fell for the nostalgia view of the Power Rangers movie was because that was my childhood.
Yeah.
Disney was part of it, but it wasn't my sole aspect of it. Power Rangers and other superhero franchises was my childhood. It was what I grew up with. It was everything that I knew, and that garnered my love for the movies and the comics and all this stuff.
Oh, Shelby asks, so is it worth going to? Commercials say it's the must-see of the year. First of all, don't believe the commercials. They always try to do that crap. Do not fall for it. But I will say, it's okay to take your kids to. If you want your kids to see something that is similar to what you've seen as a child, more power to you. Go ahead and do it. I'm sure they'll have a fun time.
The kids are going to have a fun time because there was a good group of kids. I don't know if they were going to see The Lion King, but there was a pretty decent outcome of kids here today when we got in.
I mean, honestly, at first I thought it was because a lot of them were going to see Crawl.
But you remember, these are kids. They're not going to go see alligators chomping on people. They're going to be going to see, I want to be the Mighty King! Yay!
I'm gonna be a mighty king.
Yeah, no, see, my rendition was better just because it fits the whole thing of what we're doing here.
Oh, hey, Dustin, what's up, bro?
But honestly, to answer your question, the movie may be worth going to if you either A, want a good laugh, or B, have kids that you know will get a good kick out of some of these scenes and out of some of their jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have fart jokes, in every other live-action remake.
And it comes from, courtesy of Seth Rogen.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry, I still really despise him as an actor.
If you're going to see this movie, you'll either A, get a good kick out of how weird and how dumb and how much it botches the original, or you're going to feel insulted. If you're going to take your kids to it, you might get a kick out of it because the kids get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
It depends on your viewpoint, because like I said, if you enjoy the movie, more power to you as an individual.
It's just that coming from two individuals who grew up with Disney films and just in the Disney Renaissance, like I've seen the animated Beauty and the Beast, I've seen the original Lion King, I've seen Aladdin, and these films still hold true and dear to my heart. And although I've heard from some people that they actually prefer the live action Beauty and the Beast over the animated one, I'm like, what are you freaking stupid?
I mean,
like,
Emma Watson's pretty sexy, I'm not gonna lie.
Emma Watson?
She's in it. I thought that was Emma Watson.
Yeah, she's in it.
Yeah.
I would have picked somebody better, but
I mean, she can't sing anymore to save her life.
Oh no, she couldn't sing at all.
But I mean, besides that, she was just good for the looks. I mean, what else do you see in the movies? You see good-looking people.
I don't remember a dang thing that happened in those movies.
What else do you see in movies nowadays? You only see the good-looking people. So, of course, they're going to put a good-looking face. And she was still writing that Harry Potter hype because her movies had just ended at that point.
Are those films even dead yet?
No. and they shouldn't be dead yet.
Oh, Lord.
The reason I say that is because I know people who are big Harry Potter fans.
More power to you.
I am a little bit of one myself. But the whole reason is because I want to see if they make a new Harry Potter movie based on the book that was actually written as a screenplay for a on-stage production, just because I heard from too many people that it's canon by the creator, J.K. Rowling.
Right.
But it's not canon by the fan base. So if they made it into a legitimate movie, I want to see what kind of damage that causes, since apparently that new book goes against everything J.K. Rowling had set up for the Harry Potter lore.
Oh, the original Beauty and the Beast is the best one.
It's the only one Wyatt has seen.
Oh, Wyatt's her son.
Then don't show him the live action.
He's a cute boy, by the way.
Don't show him the live action one. Then don't.
Shelby, take his advice. Do not see the live action Beauty and the Beast. You will want not only want to cover Wyatt's eyes, but your own.
And The Lion King is the same way. There are times in the movie where it's good, times in the movie where it's horrible.
Mostly horrible, but there's some little lights of hope. But suddenly it's taken away just as quickly.
You honestly don't know how hyped I was when the movie started and we heard that nah, and my count was all immediately just pro,
and then
pro,
and
pro,
and then when that singer came in, it was like
and that's when the con list was like ding 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 ding. I'm like, oh god.
I know.
It was
a
ride. It was a real roller coaster ride because it was just all over the place.
I haven't a tear left to shed.
Yeah, neither do I. But I will say this. If I could find another movie that makes me cry just as much as Avengers Endgame and Toy Story 4.
I still haven't seen that, by the way.
Oh my god, you better bring a box of tissues.
I'm sorry. I'm wanting to take Abby and my dad to go see that. Good.
When you go to see that movie, you better tell them.
By the way, those who are watching, if you've seen Toy Story 4, please don't spoil it for me. Just let me know if you like it and if it's any good.
Make sure to remind him to bring a box of tissues. I cried.
I can't remember the last time I cried in the movie theater.
I cried
I did cry a little bit in Endgame, yeah.
I cried in Endgame. I cried in Toy Story 4. And if Ariel was watching right now, she'd be able to tell me what other movies I've cried in that she has seen with me, because I don't know how. I used to never cry in movies. Now here I am in the theater, damn near with a box of tissues.
You sound like every housewife that's going to a chick flick.
Are you kidding?
They got back together.
Are you kidding? I'll be sitting there. I don't care what movie. I don't care which Toy Story it is. It could be Toy Story 53. Buzz Lightyear and Woody take off on a new universe adventure, and they can sit there, and they can literally do the worst thing in the world, and I'll still be sitting there crying just because of what they did. And just.
It was the first one Wyatt saw in theaters, and Toy Story 4 was amazing, and you will cry. Oh!
Told you. I'm not the only one who's cried in theaters. Thank you. High five.
Thank you for the recommendation, Shelby. Thank you.
Again, remind him to bring a box of tissues.
I'm not bringing a box of tissues.
Bring a box of tissues. You're going to need it.
I'm not bringing a box of tissues to a Pixar movie.
Your loss. You better ask him for some napkins then, because you're going to need something to wipe them tears. I know I did. Ariel was getting a kick out of that.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
This movie I'm going to get a kick out of with my steel toes.
Yeah, because I would have gouged my eyes out just after watching this train wreck.
Here's the funny thing. A supposed article interview with Seth Rogen said he typically gets extremely high and is always high when he does his recordings. I am really contemplating on something here. And that is that if, and I'm saying this with a big if that is true, then whatever the hell he was smoking to do this role as Pumbaa was not strong enough.
No.
His jokes were horrid. His acting was as monotone as Zazu. And let me tell you, it was as bad as Donald Glover. And that man has done some amazing work. I'm not going to sit here and trash his name without giving him some props. He has done really good work in the past. I'm really proud for the work Donald Glover has done because he is a skilled actor when he's got proper direction, when he's got the proper ability to take the role.
I thought he was great in, what was it, Homecoming he was in?
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming?
I'm pretty sure he also played a role in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, too.
I don't know if he did.
I know in Homecoming he definitely played a quick role.
In Homecoming he played a funny...
he played the uncle to Miles Morales.
He did?
Remember in Homecoming when he was just seen and...
He was one of the... I think he was one of the robbers, I think.
I don't think so.
But also, if you're a Donald Glover fan, you will not want to see this because he is just dying a slow and painful death in this. Also, if you're a fan of Childish Gambino, this will just make you sad.
There's so many things in this movie that will make you sad.
I will say, I prayed very much for James Earl Jones in this.
James Earl Jones was a legend when he first played Mufasa.
Yes. Back then, it sounded like he actually gave a crap.
Now it sounds like he was just on autopilot. Like, he's just sitting there like, you guys have already paid me for one movie. Pay me the second time for this one, and we'll see how this goes.
Like, a king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. Just... Dude, are you even trying?
I mean, there were times where I legitimately felt good about what he was doing as an actor. There were times when he legitimately made me proud. Like, when he was actually trying to be inspiring to Simba.
Yeah.
There were moments where his dialogue, for as dry as it sounded, did strike a note with me and did say something good.
Especially when he said, "Look at the stars. All the kings of the past look down on us from those stars." That.
Now, if you're going to watch this movie and do all the nitpicking like what we did, you're going to notice a lot in just the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes of the movie that are different.
Yeah.
Like, if you remember the original at all, you remember Rafiki busting open a grapefruit, sticking his hand in there, and smearing the juice
it's not a grapefruit
all over Simba's hand.
It's not a grapefruit.
This time it looked like he took dried peppers with the little cub. Like, what the hell is that?
Like, how the hell is that supposed to make you sneeze?
Like, we get it. There's that old pepper joke. Cracks a pepper in someone's face. But, I mean, come on. You cracked a stick, took that dust, and wiped it on the cub's face. Like, what? At least in the original, it was juice. It was more symbolic because it was, like, praising it. Not praising him, but it was, like signifying.
Oh, praise Simba.
It was like it was signifying. It was something you could see being done.
Yeah.
Kind of like how when people would be anointed with oil and they are getting a different form of baptism.
Yeah.
That is like what you see in the Lion King's original format. This time it's, hey kid, I'm gonna take these dried chilies all over your face. Have fun burning your eyes, boy.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that whole opening really set the mood for me because
hell, Rafiki didn't get his staff until the freaking third act climax.
And plus, when he was raising Simba up, he's not even standing up. He's just sitting down.
I mean, that part's debatable. I thought he was standing at that point, but
No, he was sitting down.
I guess what I know. That's just what I saw.
I know. Also, the design of Zazu in this.
Zazu did not look like how he was supposed to.
No.
Zazu just looked like a random bird.
Yep.
And the thing about Zazu was, in the original, he was colorful. He was animated in a way that still felt lively and felt right in that world. That was a big issue for me with every single one of these characters. When it came to every single one of them, as soon as you saw Simba grow up, you wouldn't be able to tell him apart from Mufasa.
No.
In the real world, that is what happens. Sometimes you can't tell an animal from another unless they have a distinctive factor or a distinctive personality trait. But in this one, you couldn't tell Simba from Mufasa once he was fully grown. The only way you could tell was because Mufasa was dead.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell Nala or any of the Iron Lionesses from themselves because...
No, I couldn't tell who was Nala and who was Sarabi.
And the only way we could tell in the beginning part was because they were cubs. The only way we could tell in the second act when they were adults was because she met up with Simba. And
or when they said their names out loud.
Yeah, like, it's like, come on, if I have to hear your name just to know what you look like in a movie that's supposed to be a live action of the animated version, what are you doing? I mean...
Clearly...
I mean, when they did the Death Note movie on Netflix, based on the anime and manga of the same name, which, let me tell you, that was another horrible movie. I could at least tell the characters apart.
I don't even watch Death Note, and I kept hearing people saying how bad it was.
That movie, that was a live-action adaptation. I still could tell the characters apart. Yes, anime and animation don't really go well, but their live adaptations are both notorious now for being horrible. Because the animation was horrendous. The acting, drier than hell. The character arcs are nothing alike. In this movie, it was nothing like Lion King.
Yeah, all the people say their lines like it's their first take. It all just sounds so fake and so phony.
And not to mention the fact that we had 13 different times that we've split off from the main story just to follow a bug or a tuft of hair.
Yeah. They spent over a minute following a patch of Simba's hair.
It was why? It led to nothing but Rafiki finding it.
Yeah.
I mean, spoiler alert for parts of this movie in case somebody's...
Spoiler! We're not gonna get it.
They're
not gonna care.
Yeah, people are gonna care. People are always gonna care. This is the internet. Anyway.
Be kind, internet.
Anyway, spoiler alert. We follow a tuft of adult Simba's mane as it flies through, gets into some water, gets picked up by some birds, and gets dropped until it somehow falls in front of Rafiki and he catches it. Feels it in his fingers hair, yes, until he's like, oh my god, it's Simba. Blows some smoke on the tree he lived in for God knows how long, takes his hands into some weird dusty crap, and puts it all over Simba's original picture oh my god, he's alive and he's an adult! Oh! Why? Why did we have to spend over a minute following a tuft of hair for that?
My question is, why the hell did we spend over a minute following the mouse that's gonna get eaten by Scar?
Yeah, that's another problem. Literally, after the opening credits, we followed a mouse for a direct minute. A minute. Just so that way Scar could catch it, have his joking dialogue of whateverness with Zazu, and not lead to anything.
Yep.
Oh, my lordy. Why? It's like they didn't know how to pan out this movie to 2 hours long, so they had to follow bugs, hair, and other non-needed things to span it out.
Right.
And it's like they had two separate introductions for Timon and Pumbaa. Because they had the way they introduced them to Simba, and then they had the trailer fodder of them walking through the jungle, singing, what was it? Singing that. Singing that kind of crap. And it's like, I'm sorry, but if I had to have two introductions to our comedic relief, they both better be hilarious. And if neither of them are hilarious in either of their introductions, and we don't get good laughs out of them for almost half the time that they're on screen, what are you doing?
I'm like, Timon and Pumbaa are not funny in this, and I love Timon and Pumbaa.
It was just...
They couldn't make this funny. Oh, Lord.
There's just so many things that we could do. If we literally could edit this video the way that most YouTubers and Facebook and social media people in general do.
Which we will learn to do, by the way.
We could literally rip a fresh hole in the image of this new Lion King, and we could say, have at thee. And that would still be more entertaining than the actual movie was.
So overall, guys, I would give this movie a solid F grade, honestly.
I'd give it a D.
I give it an F. So
the only reason I'm giving it a D is because it had a few redeeming factors and the few scenes that it recreated properly. Otherwise, gone. Yeah. Redo.
So basically, if you want to take your kids to this, have at it. More power to you.
If if you enjoy it and you find something in there to enjoy that we didn't find personally, run with it while you can.
But for everyone else,
don't spend your money.
I give this movie up. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for joining us. And if you want to see more content or give us suggestions of movies to review, leave it in the comments below, or heck, even message us. Or
yes, message the page because
or look out for our next poll. Which, oh, by the way, our latest poll apparently is, which subgenre of horror would you like us to see? I think it's gonna be thriller.
So far that whole subgenre is slasher and thriller. We're gonna do it in segments to make it easier. There will be a few times where we'll have to skip those polls, though, because we do have a few reviews planned coming up in these later months to celebrate other movies that are coming out that we want to see and review.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for those and answer our polls if you haven't. And watch out for the new one that we put out tonight. Till then, I'm Zach.
I'm Michael.
And these are two dudes doing reviews.
Have a good night.